Hello, all. When most Americans think Iran, they think hostages. For 444 days, 66 American diplomats were held against their will. This happened 35 years ago, but it was an OJ or Monica level media event. Before 9/11, it was the main thing that most of us knew about the Middle East. And it still reverberates in the consciousness of the Americans that do the most voting. So when our government tells us that Iran is crazy or evil, we tend to believe it. This is a mistake. Today I would like to take a closer look at the claims that Washington, D.C. makes about Iran and how our government misrepresents what's really going on. We are told that Iran supports terrorism, and this is true. But they haven't supported an attack on a U.S. asset in decades. The worst thing they ever did to us was probably a bombing that took place in Beirut in 1983. 299 United States Marines were killed. The thought that the Iranian higher-ups who may have approved this horror have escaped justice bothers me deeply. The thing is, the Iranian public probably feels the same way about Donald Rumsfeld and the entire Reagan administration.
In 1983, in his capacity as the president's special envoy to the Middle East, Rumsfeld met with Saddam Hussein. At the time, Hussein was pursuing a savage war of aggression against Iran, using chemical weapons and killing between 200,000 and 600,000 Iranian soldiers and civilians. Saddam's invasion of Iran would not have been possible without the tens of billions of dollars worth of support he received from the United States and our allies.
Hundreds of Americans lost family members due to the alleged actions of the Iranian government. Millions of Iranians lost family members due to the documented actions of the U.S. government. If Iran is content to let the 1980s fade away into the past, we should be too. And we should be grateful. We are told that Iran is ruled by a disgusting theocracy, and that's true. By the standards of the Middle East, Iran is actually pretty democratic, with regular elections and a government that's occasionally accountable to its people. The problem is that they've also got this guy, the supreme leader, who can countermand anything, supposedly according to religion, but in practice according to whatever the hell he wants. We are right to critique this, but we do not have the moral high ground.
They had a better government in 1953, and we brought about a coup to overthrow it. The Shah, the savage dictator we supported for the next 26 years, was much, much worse than the current regime. When a revolution finally overthrew him in 1979, we supported Saddam's attack on Iran. That brutal fight for survival allowed the religious nutjobs to crush all the secular elements of the revolution. When peace was finally restored, the moderate elements slowly crawled their way back into power. They were making real progress up until 2002 when, despite the help that they were giving us in Afghanistan, George W. Bush declared Iran to be part of an axis of evil that had to be destroyed. This quasi-declaration of war understandably put the Death to America crowd right back on top. Not a great record.
I don't think it's too much of an exaggeration to say that United States aggression is the main reason Iran does not have a fully functioning democracy today. If we truly want a better Iranian system, the first thing we should do is stop trying to control it. Peace is the only way forward. We're told that Iran hates Israel, and this is true. In fact, Iran is the only threatening enemy that they have left, which is why Israel is trying so desperately to hold on to them.
After 67 years of fighting, the Arab world is either too weak or too bribed to do anything other than whine at the United Nations. They'll occasionally get it together to fund a suicide bombing, the favored tool of failed civilizations and losers everywhere. Iran, on the other hand, is the main funder of Lebanese Hezbollah, a military force that has managed to defeat the Israeli Defense Forces in open combat. They've done this despite the fact that Iran has little real love for the Palestinians. Iran would much rather be using Hezbollah to fight against Sunni jihadists like ISIS.
Iran has been trying to make peace with us for decades. If we let this process move forward, and let Iran focus on the enemies they truly want to fight, Israel will be safer than it has ever been. So, we've established that peace with Iran is the just thing to do. In addition, it would make Israel safer and it would make oil cheaper, our two main interests in the region. Yet, supposedly respectable foreign policy leaders can continue to say things like this.
Bomb Iran, you know, bomb. Anyway,
when veterans are together, veterans joke. And I was with veterans and we were joking.
And this.
There was a vote in the Senate today. Joe Lieberman, who authored the Iraq resolution, has authored another resolution, and it is essentially a fig leaf to let George Bush go to war with Iran. And I want to congratulate Biden for voting against it, Dodd for voting against it, and I'm ashamed of you, Hillary, for voting for it. You're not going to get another shot at this.
Senator Clinton, I want to give you a chance to respond.
Well, I don't know where to start.
And this.
And everything I know about the Iranians, I learned in the pool room. I ran the pool room when I was a kid, and I met a lot of liars, and I know the Iranians are lying.
Why do we keep listening to these people? Their fantasies are hurting Iran, they are hurting the rest of the world, and they are hurting the United States. It's as if we need an enemy to function. The United States government is not evil. It's just deeply, deeply confused. It's the kind of confusion that can only be generated by tens of thousands of really smart people working in an endeavor that they don't fully understand. It comes down to the fact that everything we hear about foreign policy in the United States is influenced by something called the military-industrial complex. Over the coming weeks, we'll look at what that is, what it does, and what we can do about it. I hope you'll tune in. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. And if you'd like to help me make more videos like this one, please click on the Patreon link here to find out how.